It's a great pleasure to be with you today in the company of Chairman Chen. Just a few words about Hachette Livres for those who do not know who we are. Hachette was founded in 1826, long time ago. I'm afraid this is not in a translation, so if there is a discrepancy, please forgive. We are now number 2 in the world. We are the leading publisher in France, in the UK. We are number 5 in the United States. We are number 2 in Spain, and we have many other publishing branches in countries such as India, Poland, Russia, Mexico, and Argentina, and of course China. So I'm going to tell you, to describe how our joint venture in China, Hachette PPMG, is faring just a year and a half after we signed the contract with quite considerable press coverage in Frankfurt a year and a half ago. So it's my pride and pleasure to inform you that this joint venture is doing well. The company is developing in line with the business plan, and believe me, that business plan was rather ambitious. In 2011, in the first year of operation, we published around 40 titles across 3 different market segments: fiction, how-to, and children's books. Those first books to roll off the printing presses were an opportunity for us to learn how the Chinese market works, with its upsides and downsides, of course. I think we learned what has to be considered as a given in this country, and we are in the process of learning how Hachette could make a difference in such a marketplace with its partner. As we see it, there are 3 distinctive features that could define the Chinese market. First of all, it is a massive market with an impressive number and diversity of sales points. There are 5,800 government-owned Xinhua bookstores, very impressive bookstores. They look like Waterstones or Fnac, and more than 100,000 private sales points. Servicing such a market is quite a challenge in terms of logistics, fulfillment, accounting, and cash management. So one needs a really strong partner to find its way in such a crowded and complex market. And there is no question that our partner, PPMG, has proved to be of a great help in understanding and mastering that complexity. Secondly, not only it is a massive market, but it is very much a mass market as well. By that, I mean that the retail prices are very low, ranging from the equivalent of £1.50 to slightly less than £3. And popular bestsellers, only 5% of the titles published, account for 60% of total sales. So this is really what we call a mass market by Western standards. And with Hachette's front and back list coming from a dozen of countries, when we have Chinese rights available, of course, we should be able to play in the major league pretty soon, I guess. As a matter of fact, we already enjoyed our first bestseller in 2011 with Anthony's Horowitz, House of Silk, that sold slightly less than 150,000 copies and ranked number 1 on most crime and mystery bestseller lists. Thirdly, the market is very much technologically advanced, and perhaps more than in some Western countries. There are 900 million owners of mobile phones in China, smartphones or reading devices of every shape, size, and description included. 1.2 million e-readers and 5.3 million tablets were sold in China in 2011 alone. So the e-book market accounts only for 5% of sales right now as we speak, but it is expected to grow very fast, and particularly in a territory that is so huge with these very significant number of bookstores that we need to reach, the growth of the e-book market is both a leverage and a very significant opportunity for our joint venture. Of course, it will grow even faster if the piracy issue and the bloody price war are both resolved. And here, I think we will need the support of the Chinese authorities more than ever, particularly when it comes to piracy. Again, this is an area, the e-book publishing business, where Hachette's expertise can prove very useful to our partner, as we are active in some very digital-oriented territories, such as the US and the UK. So for Hachette PPMG, 2011 has been a year with a steep learning curve. The company had to recruit a full staff, to negotiate many deals, to sign many authors. And throughout that year, our relation with PPMG was frank and outspoken, with nice way, very friendly way to resolve problems, to dispel misunderstandings. And I think in this context, we grew a very nice friendship with generous rounds of Mao Tai, as we say in China. So what about 2012? We have the plan to publish 120 titles across segments like popular fiction, children's books, and in addition to the list, we are going to publish 3 series from the Walt Disney Company that we believe have a huge potential in China. PPMG will help the joint venture with distribution and logistics, I would say back office in general, because this has proven to be a kind of a headache for us. And Hachette will help the joint venture with our skills in marketing, promotion, design, and selection of the right projects. The joint venture has turned for us to be the ideal setup for such a development, because China is just impossible to understand immediately for Western publishers, and that joint venture with both partners bringing contributions of equivalent value to the party is once again the ideal setup. I would like to thank Mr. Tan for being bold, resolute, and forward-thinking when we started having conversations back in 2010. And I would like to congratulate his successor, Mr. Chen, for having already proven to be a very precious ally when we needed his help. And I'm afraid the chances are very serious that we will rely on his skills again very soon. As a final piece of evidence that this joint venture is a two-way street, I would like to share with you that 2 of Hachette Livres imprints in France, Cadman-Lévy and Le Chêne, will be publishing later in the year, respectively, a novel written in Chinese by Hong Yin, Good Children of the Flowers, and a Chinese illustrated book, Symbols of China by Fang Jikai. Both books were acquired from PPMG's publishing houses as a result of the joint venture in order to give international exposure to these authors. So, Mr. Chairman, friends and colleagues, for Westerners, publishing in China is a challenge, but it's a very rewarding experience for many reasons, among which the relationship you forge with your Chinese counterparts is certainly on the top of my list. Close personal ties are not the ultimate goal in business, of course, but they make life easier and they make business more effective. Thank you very much.